Hello. What's up, everyone? Hello, world. It's AC, and you're here with us on Sign of the Times on the Hope for Us Network Twitch channel. Good evening. Happy Fridays to yous. I hope all of you are safe and well. If you're here in the city of Chicago or in the Midwest or whatever, I hope you're warm. And wherever else you're at, I don't know. Hope you're okay and good. Yeah. Sign of the Times. I got my dog over here, Phoenix, who's a fixture in the show. You want to come tell the people what's up? Come on. You want to tell them what's up? This is my dog, Phoenix. She's adorable. The rescue. Shout out to one tail at a time. But you'll be seeing this dude and hearing him throughout the stream because he wants to be a part of it too. So, yeah, Sign of the Times, just a little show where we talk about music and stuff that's going on and cool stuff, art and what have you. Just cool stuff, you know, just stuff, music. It's always a good time. Real quick before we get into the show, I want to make sure you guys also check out another show that I'm a part of with the Hope for Us Network that also streams on the Twitch network channel. That's every other Sunday. It's called The Tomorrow Show. It's with MC Aaron D, my man Mike V, and myself. New episode this Sunday, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. Gonna have some great guests, lots of cool stuff going on. Pro wrestlers, bands, gypsies, clowns. Okay, probably not gypsies and clowns, but you know we're gonna have some cool guests. So make sure you tune in this Sunday, The Tomorrow Show, on the Hope for Us Network Twitch channel. What, bruh? If you could talk, I would tell you to hop in this. But it's going to be dope. It's going to be a good episode. Make sure you check it out. I'm stoked for it. Yeah, come on. Join us. Join us on Sunday. It's going to be dope. We'll be drinking coffee, you know, water and tea, coffee, waking up, talking about what makes us feel good and all that good stuff. You know, it's going to be awesome. So before we get into the whole episode, we're going to be talking about, of course, music and stuff. We got some very special guests on the show. Guardrail, a Chicago band here in Chicago. Great tunes, great music. I'm stoked to have them on the show. They seem like a lot of fun. They got a little thing coming up soon at Beat Kitchen in February called Snooze Fest. So they're going to be telling us about that. And I'm pretty interested to hear what this is all about. Sounds like a huge pajama party. And why not? Pajama parties are cool. I'm down to do this, right? All right. So first, kind of like a two-part story, if you will. Of course, you know, the show pretty much is all about music. Hold on a second. Let me bring this goofball in close. So the show, you know, it's all about music. I'm all about music. That's all I do. It's a music thing, right? So I don't like to listen to the radio just because I don't like the radio. Some people do, some people don't. I used to when I was younger. I just don't. The only time I really listen to radio is when I'm on road trips, right? Stop the story right there. So about a week or so ago, maybe, I was with a good friend of mine and Mike Vinopal. You might know him from his bands, Bad Candy, Locomotive, you know, also The Tomorrow Show, like I said, streams on Twitch, Hope for Us Network, and all sorts of other things. He and I met a fellow friend at an establishment. They were giving him some artwork that they had done for their band. And for some reason, Harry Styles came into the conversation. Don't know how, don't know why, but somehow Harry Styles came into the conversation. And I was just like, oh, whatever. Like, this boy band dude. Like, I'm not hearing this. Like, whatever, right? So, back to my road trip. On the road trip, I throw on the radio because sometimes I still got to know, like, what the kids are listening to, what's hot, whatever, right? Just to still be in touch. So on my my road trip, I kept hearing this song, and I was like, what is this? Like, this is hot. Like, what is this? Finally, after like, I don't know, the fourth or fifth time of hearing it on this road trip, I Shazammed it. Wouldn't you know? Harry Styles. Yo. I got real mad for a second. I was like, no, you're not supposed to like this. But of course it's music, and music don't lie. If it sounds good, it's gonna get to you, and that track is dope. What I think it's called As It Was. All right, Harry, Mr. Styles. So many styles, Harry, you got me. The track is hot. Your name ain't as cool as Alicia Keys, though. I'm just saying. But I guess it's it's that thing about music, man. Like, I don't know, like the punk rock hip hop kids in me, it's like I'm not supposed to like this, but that was that same kid when Justin Timberlake came out with his solo record, and I heard one of his tracks for the first time and wasn't supposed to like it and loved it. I don't know what I'm trying to get at, but it's just music. If it makes you feel good, if it makes you feel happy, roll with it, enjoy it. It's beautiful. I don't know. It's awesome. So, yeah. You made a fan, Mr. Harry Styles. Nice work. Good job. But yeah, that's a dope track. The friend also that Mike was meeting for the artwork for his band is an artist by the name of Gabby. They're amazing artists. Please feel free to check out their artwork on their Instagram. You can find them at No Face Art. That would be, I do believe it's, what is that? @ No Face _ ARTT. No Face Art. Shout out to Gabby. Amazing artist. Check out her artwork. She's got an Etsy store. Great artist. It's amazing artwork. Yeah. I picked a couple of my favorites. I might have to hit her up for some of these because they're kind of dope. Actually, they're very dope. Yeah, she was the friend that was with us when the whole Harry Styles conversation came up. That one's dope. Yeah, pretty much. I posted. I picked my favorites in hopes that somebody would just, I don't know, get it for me as like an early birthday gift or something. I don't know. Maybe I'll just get it anyways. Yeah, the dude skateboarding or heel flipping, the no face kick flipping or something. That's dope. So dope, man. I love it. It's dope. It's dope. But yeah, shout out to Gabby. Make sure you check out their art at No Face Art. It's dope. It's awesome. Super, super, super dope. Super talented. Rules. Awesome. What's up, Phoenix? You got something to say? All right, cool. You just chill out. You lay in the cut. We're going to move on to the next segment. Let's see. How are we looking at time? We got some time to talk about Miss Janet before we bring on our next guest. Is that a possibility? We got time for that? Can we do that? Yeah. All right. Let's talk about Miss Janet real quick. I brought her up. She was somebody had mentioned her because she was one of the artists that I wanted to give props to or whatever. So I talked about her. And somebody had made mention of Metamorphosis, Janet Jackson. I didn't know what that was, so I had to go look it up. And it's I had no idea that she was doing a Las Vegas residency. Had no clue. Had no idea. So I had to dig into that and check that out a little bit more because I was intrigued by that. And it kind of made me think about some things, when I found out that she was doing a residency, because, I knew Gaga had done one. I think maybe Gwen, maybe she did one. I think Pink did one. But it kind of set off some curiosity. I wanted to look into that, to see like who was, like, was that really a big thing? This and that and the other. And just like this year alone, and maybe like a little bit last year, I've got a list of artists and acts that have Vegas residencies right now, this year alone. Or the later part of last year, whatever. It's a long list. This is crazy. Check this out. Ready? Luke Bryan. What do we got? Jonas Brothers, Katy Perry, Maroon 5, Carrie Underwood, Rod Stewart, Miranda Lambert, Santana, Keith Urban, Donny Osmond, Sting, Adele, and Bruno Mars. That's just to name a few. So apparently, if you're at that level, a residency is the way to go. Which made me, kind of think more about like pros and cons, I guess, for an artist doing a residency. Especially like when you're at that level, and you've been doing it for that long. If you're at that age where riding around in a bus or an RV or flying every day just doesn't sustainable, or people start having families or this and that and the other, start to think about it. It's like, well, sure, you can sit in one spot for like 2, 3, 6 months or whatever and just play the same gig, and not have to worry about anything. I'm sure that's got to be dope for like the production of the show too, because you're not traveling every night, or every other night. You can probably leave, a lot of the stage or a lot of the production, a lot of the lights, a lot of the stuff in place, as opposed to, setting everything up, making sure it's good. The show starts, show ends, tearing everything down, loading up into the semis, driving it, getting to the next venue, a state away, repeat. I guess this way is a lot easier, just leave everything, I guess cons would be you're in Vegas the entire time, which makes me also wonder, are you allowed to leave Vegas? Because technically you're working there as a residency. People have paid money to see you, this and that and the other, tickets are bought. If you leave the state and something happens, I don't know. It would be very interesting, to know, what the rules for that kind of stuff are. Are you allowed to gamble? Probably not. I don't know. Maybe you are. I guess you can. You're Bruno Mars, Janet Jackson. I guess you can do whatever you want. I don't know. Pros for the fans. I guess you get to go to Vegas and see a very elaborate production, stage show. Probably something that a lot of people aren't going to be able to see because it's such a special thing, The cons, of course, if you're not living in Vegas or somewhere out west, that's an expensive trip. Round trip flights, especially where things are now, grabbing yourself a hotel, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, I could see, not being too fun for some fans. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe some people, would love the trip to go out to Vegas and see their favorite artist, I guess I would. I'm not saying I wouldn't. I don't know. Now I'm just talking. But yeah, residencies are dope. Janet Jackson, Metamorphosis, that's pretty huge. Before we go on to our next segment, if there's a residency that you would think would be dope, let us know. If you've been to a residency show in Vegas, let us know. Tell us about it. Let us know what you thought. Like to hear what all the hype's about. Talk to me about it. Tell me what's up. So yeah, Scott, thank you very much for dropping that Janet Jackson Metamorphosis little thing on the side. That thing is sharp. I guess it's Janet. I mean, if it's Janet, it's gonna look sharp. I guess. I don't know. What's that? I thought I heard voices talking to me. Technical difficulties again, maybe? I don't know. But yeah, that's that on Janet Metamorphosis Vegas residency shows. It's pretty dope, expensive. We're gonna move away from that. Done talking about Janet. Next, we're gonna bring on our guest. This is a band from Chicago. When I first looked them up, I kind of had a giggle and a chuckle to myself. They labeled themselves as the first diet punk band, and I had a real good laugh at that. I didn't know what that mean or what that meant. Just by listening to it, I don't know. I thought they sounded like a punk band, a good punk band. Diet punk band is a new thing. I mean, if they want to roll with it, do it. It's kind of funny. But yeah, they got a show coming up February 11th, I do believe the date is, at Beat Kitchen in Chicago. The name of the band is Guardrail, and I'm stoked to have them on. I'm stoked to talk to them and ask them some questions and stuff. Scott, are they in the house? Are they ready to party with us and chat? Oh, snap.
Hey.
Hey, y'all, we got Guardrail here. Good evening. How you two's doing?
Good.
Ready to party.
Yeah. If you could please introduce yourselves and please let everyone know what you do in the band.
My name's Kevin. I am the vocalizer of the band.
Huntsman.
Mm-hmm.
The man up front. My name is Alyssa. I play the bass and I sing those backup harmony vocals.
Awesome. Well, I want to say thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your Friday evening to spend some time and to chat and hang out. Mm-hmm. It's pretty awesome. There's so many questions and so many things that I want to know. I have to ask. First of all, I will say, you guys owe me some money. This is why I say this.
Uh-oh.
Usually I'm not just this upfront about it, but I threw on your music at work today, and it was like whoosh, ear magnets. Everybody started to circle around my desk. Who's this band? What is this? What's going on? I'm like, oh, and before I could even say anything, my buddy Mike V, who you guys will meet on the Tomorrow Show, I do believe, possibly in another stream.
Cool.
Before I could even say anything, he's like, "Oh, this is Guardrail. They're from Chicago," and I'm just like, I just sat back, and they're all like, "This is good. This is good." Like halfway into the second song, kid's like, "Yep, bought it," and I just like turned around. And I was like, "What?" He's like, "I had to. I bought the EP. This is good, and it's not like crazy expensive. This is awesome." And I was just like,
"And you're not making this up?"
I'm dead serious. I can give you his name off camera. Mike Vinopal can also what's the word? Corroborate, confirm the story.
Corroborate, yes.
So you guys definitely picked up some fans at my job, my work.
Man.
And I'll definitely have to say, like, you know, like as I've been listening, you know, to your EP and your songs, I'm just like, dude, if Warped Tour was still around, this would be a Warped Tour band. For sure. Everything from the music, the structure, like the honesty and the humbleness and the lyrics and just like everything just sounds so good. And I'm just like, this band is legit. Like this band is dope. Like this is a Warped Tour band. So definitely I want to give you guys mad props and kudos because
hell yeah, thanks, man. Warped Tour was actually my first real like rock concert ever too. So it's funny that you say that. But before that, I had my first actual concert was when I was 10. I went and saw the Backstreet Boys.
Okay.
And that was dope as hell because they're on wires flying around the stadium, and I'm 10 years old, like, oh my god. Then a few years later, I went to Warped Tour in 2006, and then I went every year after that until it ended. So it breaks my heart that you think that we'd be good on that tour that's no longer in existence.
Hey, I mean, just because, Warped Tour isn't out there doesn't mean that, you guys couldn't pop up on another tour.
Yeah, there's all the revival festivals happening. I mean, I guess those are old bands, but like they need support.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Hey, why not? Hey. But definitely, you guys, I'm so dope, so dope.
Thanks.
This is where I got to stop telling you guys how amazing you are, and I got to start asking some questions because the people want to know.
Yes.
Of course, Kevin, your vocals, Alyssa, bass vocals. I just have to know, what's your writing process like? Where does it come from? And the reason why I ask this is because, like I said, like just in the lyrics, they sound so humble and so honest, and the music complements that so well. So where exactly do you guys pull that from as a group, individually, to make that so cohesive as one?
Man, so I fell in love with punk rock because of its honesty. Because when I was first getting into music, like I said, I was into, the Backstreet Boys and stuff like that. And all their songs were just like, hey, girl, I love you. And that's like most of it. But then like I discovered punk rock and there's a lot more just honesty. And I don't know, I just fell in love with that as a young kid. So that's why I fell in love with it. There's no way I wasn't going to do that kind of thing in my songwriting.
Sure.
And I had been in bands before where I tried to write songs, and Guardrail was really my like second real crack at writing lyrics. The band I was in before, I wrote a lot of the lyrics, but like they're not good.
Sure.
Just because like I don't know, it was the first time I was like singing in a band, and I only sang in it for a little bit, and then we recruited a front man, but I was like writing all the lyrics, and like it sounded good at the time, and then I look back and go, oh god, I just kind of cringe a little bit at some of the things that I thought I was like, man, that's so deep, and I'm like, that's so corny. Like it was not deep at all. But yeah, I mean, as far as our writing process, it's typically most of the time we write the music first and then write the lyrics to the music. There's been some things where we either started writing a song based on like I wrote a chorus just lyrically, and then you kind of work around that or something. But yeah, mostly it's music first, and then we throw some.
And I feel like the lyrics are really a good like representation of Kevin's personality in general, and just like Ken, our guitarist, who's not here tonight. How long have you known Ken? Since you were how old, Kevin?
We met in 5th grade, so 10 years old.
How long have you been in bands together?
Since we could play music together. So since we started our first band together when we were 16, and we're in our 30s now.
And you're how old now? I was gonna say. So like, I feel like that friendship bond between you and Ken is so strong, and like everyone likes drastically different music. Like I'm into like Phoebe Bridgers, Elliott Smith, girl band emo, like 2000s math rock, and like Kevin's like super Warped Tour pop punk. Ken likes, I don't know, dad music.
Dad music, I love it. Love it.
So like
you're not wrong.
Table, but we have a lot of like overlap and like real love for like the, I don't know, the common core of rock. Like and so like we all bring different stuff to the table, but like I don't know, I always say like Kevin's one of like the best bosses I've ever had, because he like definitely like does a lot of the organizing, writes the lyrics, and is just like a genuinely like no ego.
Okay.
Like he's not trying to like, he's not in this for himself. He's literally in this for everyone else, like for the music and for like people who love music, and that's it. And I feel like that comes through in the lyrics, and it's great to just be in a band with people who are not trying to be famous.
And I love that. And that's such a beautiful thing. Like, that's awesome. And I mean, you know, especially like I was saying, like how the lyrics to me, how they come across so humble and honest. You know what I mean? Like I get that 100%. And then Alyssa, for you know, you guys said that you guys write a lot of the music first. Man, this is so, it's funny. I feel so basic because I get asked these same questions all the time, and now I'm asking you guys these questions. But truthfully, like rhythm section, because, you know, I play drums and bass, like how, okay, for example, my band, like we're all over the place. You know, I might have a bass line, I spit it at my drummer, or my drummer, you know, we might just get together and throw something real quick, you know, or somebody might have a guitar riff. Is that pretty much the same process like in your group? Is it too far off from what we do? Like
yeah, okay, so I think an interesting thing is that we're all graphic designers, like, you know, our background. We like throw stuff down in software first, like you kind of like flush out what you're thinking in like GarageBand.
Okay.
We like design it all out first with like you kind of rough the tracks, and then you share it digitally with everyone and are like, here's what I'm thinking. And then maybe jam it in practice. But like everyone is like, let's do a demo like of what I'm thinking, and then kind of shares it out. We're not great at jamming, but our guitarist Zach can just like go
he just riffs for days. Like we're warming up at rehearsal, and it's just basically Doug starts doing a drum beat and Zach just starts going off of it. We're kind of just the rest of us are just sitting there like, hell yeah. Like, you know, but yeah, I mean, it's as much as we jam like that sometimes, like that's never really led to a song necessarily. There's one song on our album that's coming out soon, which we can talk about more later. There's this little stupid joke riff that I play all the time just as a joke. And it came from these stupid YouTube videos they're called Creed Shreds. And this guy just took videos of Creed performing and just overdubbed the worst, like just out-of-tune guitar and like vocals just going like, like just, it sounds terrible and it's so funny. And there's one of those videos where every time you see the bassist, he does this little bass line that just goes doo 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 doo. Every time you see him, that's what you hear. No matter what he's doing, you just hear doo 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 doo. And Zach one day turned that into an actual riff, and we kind of fleshed out a
whole song
based on that stupid riff, and it's on the new record.
And it's so good. Man, I wish that album was out, because we'd have a ball talking about it.
So and that's going to be from a new release coming soon, possibly in the future.
Yes,
it'll be our first full length.
Get out of here.
We're looking at summer, so keep an eye out for that. We have a single coming out in a couple of weeks, actually, Snooze Fest weekend. So keep your eye out for that. And then we're you'll hear about the album at the beginning of summer, and it'll be out midsummer. And
okay.
And yeah, it's our first full length, 12 songs, which we've never had to write so many songs at once.
It's a lot of songs.
Yeah, we we wrote a lot.
Talk about writing process. Deadlines are important, apparently.
Yeah.
Now, is this deadlines you guys gave yourselves?
No, it's like we have to record this tomorrow, so we better write a melody and lyrics.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Since we recorded, we kind of recorded this whole record piecemeal, like just because we're all in our 30s, we all got jobs, we couldn't afford to like just go spend 2 weeks at a studio, you know.
Sure.
We got some bills to pay.
Bills, man.
Yeah. So what we did was we spent 2 days just recording drums at a studio out here in Chicago with Joe Scaletta.
Okay.
Doug knocked the drums out. We had two days. One of the songs is acoustic, so there was no drums. So he had 11 songs to do. He had 2 full days where we had the studio for a whole solid 12 hours. And both days, Doug was finished by like 4 p.m.
Nice.
Like, all right, I'm done. I did everything that I learned. So I guess we'll meet up next time. Like a week or 2 later, we did the rest of them. Nice. Same thing, done by like 4 o'clock. We're like, cool. It's not even dinner time. All right, good. And then we did all the guitars and bass and stuff on our own with our own technology, our own means. And then we went up to Michigan to do all the vocals and a couple little extra things with our friend Nick. He was the singer of the band The Swellers.
Swellers!
Yeah. So we went up, we did all the vocals and everything with him. We did vocals with him. We did some acoustic guitars, some extra shit like that. Alyssa plays trumpet on a song, so we recorded that out there. So we just like hung out there for a weekend and just, you know, kind of rocked it out. And a couple of songs lyrically were not quite written yet, and we sort of just were like, let's just try and write these under pressure, because it's so hard when you're in, you know, everyday life, and you know, you got your job, you got your dog running around as you have right now. You know, you got real life distracting you, and so it was nice to just be able to sit in like our Airbnb and just really focus, really, you know, sit in Nick's. He's just got a studio in his basement, so you just kind of sit there and work things out. And
that's amazing. It's funny because like as you were going on, you're you know, you're telling the story, and you're like, yeah, we went to Michigan. You're like, recorded with our friend Nick, and I'm just like, Nick Diner, the Swellers, no fucking way. And you said the Swellers, just like, no way. For those of you out there that don't know, the Swellers are like, to me, like pop punk royalty of Michigan, like Flint, and they were dope. They were dope. They were so dope.
They indirectly led to Guardrail becoming a thing. They were a band that I've been trying to see for years. I was super into them, and just every time they came through Chicago, either I couldn't find someone to take my shift at work, or I was out of town, or I was sick, or there was one time I was stuck in traffic and missed their set because they were like the opening band, and I got there and the next band was starting, and I'm like, damn it, we missed them. I finally saw them in 2013. It was the tour they were doing right when their last record came out.
Okay,
I think the record wasn't even out yet, but they had copies of it at their merch table, and they're just like, yeah, this doesn't come out for like 2 weeks, but here, we're selling it. I'm like, fuck yeah. So I got it a couple weeks early because I went to that show, and I saw them play, and it was at Beat Kitchen. It was like on a random weekday, I think. It was the room was like maybe half full. It was just like whatever, but it was just like so much energy and such a good vibe. And I was like, why am I not in a band like this? I was playing in like a hard rock band at the time, and like just because I'm I'm actually primarily a bass player as well. So I've played bass in every band I've been in except this one. This is the first band that I'm just the singer in. But you know, just because I'm a bass player, all these like every time we started a band or I joined a band, it was always like a hard rock band or like a metal band, and it just was never a punk band. And like, you know, that this is like my speed was like, you know, pop punk. My favorite bands are like, you know, Blink-182 and stuff like that. So it just was like, all right, I need to write a punk song and see if the band that I was in will take it. And I wrote this song. I sent it to the guys and I was like, what do you guys think? And they were like, I don't know if this might be a little too like punk rock for us. And I was like, fuck you guys. And so I wrote on Facebook one day, who wants to start a punk band? And then Guardrail was started. So then fast forward like 5 years later, we are like trying to, you know, Doug had just joined the band. Alyssa was in the band in 2015. The band kind of split up in 2016. She came back in 2018. We wrote a couple new songs. We wanted to like just record some singles just to get out there and kind of start this era of this band, because this band was always kind of a side project thing for the longest time, kind of just, you know, kind of just going with the flow.
Sure.
So we were trying to like kick it into high gear with this band. And so I was like, you know, Nick Diener records bands at his house. Like, why don't we send him an email? So I did, got back to me right away. He's like, here's my phone number. Let's set up a call.
Dude.
We called him and it was like we were already friends when the phone call even started. Like,
True.
It was so while I'm like, I feel so like comfortable with him already. And I haven't even spoken to him like face to face about these songs yet or anything. So we went up there, spent one weekend, just cranked out 2 songs just so we had some singles to put out. Those are up on Spotify. The one's called Jane and the other one's called Screaming Bloody Mary.
Man,
and now he's like our boy. So our last EP, Yikes, we recorded that whole thing with him at his studio.
Man.
And so then for this record too, we had all these song ideas. We had probably like 30 different song ideas, whether it was a minute of like riffs or like a fully fleshed out song. We had so much stuff. So we were just like, Nick's never steered us wrong. The Swellers never put out a bad song. Let's spend like a couple days with him in the studio and just write with him and stuff. So we did that in October of 2021. So it's been a while, but we narrowed it down then to the 12 songs that we have. And he kind of helped us write some of these. There was one that he just completely was like, I hear a completely different song in this, and just took parts of it, rearranged some things, and just made a whole new song out of the demo that we had. I was like, wow, okay, sick.
That is amazing.
Yeah. Oh, so shout out to Nick for kicking so much ass. And like,
did you guys realize that this changes keys? And we were like, no.
Yeah. We did not. He's like, probably like, okay, well, it does. We're going to do this.
Yeah.
That is so damn cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you guys, you keep that. That's a good person to have in your corner. That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
Man,
oh, yeah.
Let's step away from that, because I could seriously talk about
the Swellers.
Seriously. Being a Michigan kid, I'm from Lansing.
Oh, word.
So I could talk about.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You should get Nick Diener on the show.
I don't know if I could. We'll talk about that later.
All right.
See, right there? That's
yeah, we'll talk about it later.
I want to get into the snooze fest thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's a rich topic.
You guys are doing snooze fest.
Yes.
Is a Saturday?
Mm-hmm.
February 11th at Beat Kitchen.
You got it.
Chicago.
You got it.
From what I understand, this looks like a punk rock pajama party. Am I too far off?
You're right on the nose there, man.
It's brand.
Tell me, where did this idea come from? What's it about? Tell the people what's up with Snooze Fest.
So this started a long time ago. This will be our 6th year doing it. We do it every year, right around this time of year. the first few years we did it was in January. We kind of pushed it to February the last couple of years just because it's a little further away from the holidays, you know.
Sure.
And then January is like always so crazy. You have no idea if it's going to be fucking 55 degrees out and sunny or if it's going to be -10 and blizzarding. You have no idea. February is a little less like that, but still.
Sure.
So we, one of our friends had this idea. He thought it would be hilarious to have a lock-in, you know, maybe like a sleepover party and call it Snooze Fest. Shout out to Matt for that. But he gave us that idea, and I liked the idea, and it was just one of those weird little marketing sort of ideas that you just have in the back of your head for a while. And then in 2017, I think it was the first year, I was like, let's do that pajama party. Like, let's actually make it a thing. Like, we'll just have it be a show, but like everyone just wears pajamas and we hang out, and that's like kind of the gimmick. And so we did it, and we're like, cool. The first year, it was a lot different of a setup. Kind of, there was I think 8 or 9 bands, and there were like metal bands and like punk bands, and I even had like a couple stand-up comics on the first year too.
Okay.
And it was cool, but I felt like the different genres of band, like all the band members, you know, backstage were hanging out having a good old time, but like when the metal bands would play, all the metalhead kids would go to the stage and the punk kids would go to the bar, and then the punk band would start, and then it would just swap, and it was just like there wasn't as much. I was like, okay, I thought, oh, it's gonna open people's eyes to new audience, but it just was kind of like, yeah, they only cared about half the band. So I'm like, well, we're a punk band, let's just keep it in like the punk realm. And then ever since then, we kept it in, you know, the genres that are a little closer to us. That way we can, it's a little more consistent, and it's been cool. And we started the second year, we started doing it as a benefit. Because the second year, I just thought it would be cool and just an incentive for people to actually come out if they, you know, they know it's like supporting a good cause. They maybe have a better excuse to get out of the house, you know. Sure. So the second year was when that hurricane hit Puerto Rico. So we donated the proceeds to some charity out in Puerto Rico or a hospital or something like that. I don't remember exactly. And then the next 2 years after that, we worked with the Allison Cares Foundation, which is a friend of mine who passed away from a drug overdose. Her mom started a nonprofit to help people who are trying to get help and, you know, with substance abuse and things like that. So we had the proceeds benefit her for that. And then the last couple of years we did the Hope For Us Network. And because Christina is our homie, she's a good friend of ours. She runs our merch table a lot at our shows. So it only made sense to like keep it in the family going forward. So,
nice.
So here we are talking to you about it. You
Man,
know?
That's so cool. And I was, excuse me, was looking up at the lineup. Is this like all these bands in one day? Am I crazy?
Yeah.
It's all in like 6 hours.
So, and I'm gonna run it down. There's a lot of bands. You guys got Keep Flying, The Day After, Cut Your Losses, Goof.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta see this. The Runaround, Leisure Hour, and the Freedom Paradox.
Yep.
That's a lot of bands.
Yeah, we like to, being that it's, you know, a quote unquote fest, we make it kind of just like a big show. Sure. Most of the times you go to a show, there's, you know, on a kind of big lineup, there might be like 6 bands, but typically it's like, you know, somewhere between 3 and 5 bands on a show.
Sure.
So we've always had it about 8. One year we did it with 10 bands, and it was just too much.
Yeah.
There's too many bands. So I think after a while, people were just like getting like just physically tired from standing in the room for that long. so we're like, all right, we're keeping it to 8 going forward, and yeah, it's great this year. We always try to keep the lineup a little bit with enough variety to keep it interesting. So it's not like all these bands are always playing together or even sound the same. And we've actually every year, with the exception of one other band, our friends Glory Days, every year has been a completely different lineup of bands. So Glory Days is our friends. They're the only band besides us that has played Snooze Fest more than once. Every other band is just, so every year it's a completely new set of bands with us.
Nice.
And yeah, this year's no exception. The Freedom Paradox is their singer Ryan is just, we just go way back. They're good, like angry, like they're basically like Rise Against Junior. And then the Runarounds, they're a band from here as well, and they actually have a festival that they put together in the suburbs. It's called Punk the Burbs. It's usually like around October, and we've played it twice. So I was like, all right, it's about time we put them on our fest, you know. And so they're fucking sick. Goof is our friend Natalie, who has been in a couple of our music videos and stuff. So she's super cool. So she's more of like a kind of like a pop rock sort of vibe. So that's where the genre starts to get a little interesting here with us. And then our friends Leisure Hour, we actually just met earlier in 2022. They're from Indiana. We played a show out in Indiana with them just kind of by chance, and just kind of became friends with them through that. They're a great band, and they got such like a cool vibe, and they brought like a bubble machine out on stage and stuff, so there's just bubbles all over the place, and we're like, this band rules. Then we talked to them a bit after the show, and they were just great people, so we definitely wanted them to be on this. And this is their first time playing in Chicago too.
Oh, nice.
Which
is cool.
Yeah.
And then Cut Your Losses is a dope band that's like, they're all pretty young still. I think they're in their early 20s, so we got like a decade on them, but they're
is young too.
Yeah. So like they're kind of a newer band that like has been killing it here lately. So I'm stoked to get them on. And then we got us, and we got the Day After, who are our friends from Indiana as well. We crashed at their bass player's house that night that we played out in Indiana last year, and so we're stoked. We've never played together, but we've known of each other for so long, so it's cool. And then Keep Flying is this rad band that's been like blowing the fuck up. They're from New York, and we've played with them a couple times. They're great people. They're so much fun. They're like everyone says they're a ska band, but they're not really a ska band. They're just like a pop punk band that also has a horn section, so they're really cool. They just like went on tour with Less Than Jake and Bowling for Soup and stuff like that. Like,
nice.
They're rad. So this year is going to be insane. I can't wait.
I'm stoked. That sounds like a lot of good music.
Oh yeah.
Fun.
It's gonna be fun.
And Beat Kitchen, so good. Great venue for this. Yeah. Oh, and we have to talk about last year's pillow fight. So we brought like 15 pillows, and we'll just hand them out during our set, and people can go ham at each other. And last year it lasted like 5 whole minutes. Like we expected.
Oh no, it lasted our whole set.
Were there feathers?
There was not
feathers, but just like pillows flying everywhere. We expected it to last like 10 seconds, however long people take to get sick of pillow fights. But like, no, it lasted apparently our whole set.
They didn't get sick. We threw the pillows out, I think our third song in our set, and
they never
kept going for the next like 5 songs. It just kept going.
Will pillows be okay?
Oh, indeed.
Oh yeah.
They will make a return.
Absolutely something we're doing every Snooze Fest from now on, because shout out to Zach's partner Lauren for having that idea, because that was insane. It was so much fun. So that's going to be a staple going forward as well. So
okay,
get ready. Start training now.
Man, nobody wants none of this with a pillow in a fight. I'm dangerous with it. See how quick that was?
I didn't even see it. That's how quick it was.
That's how quick it was. Well, I'm stoked, man. That's going to be a lot of fun. So this is Snooze Fest Saturday, February 11th, Saturday. What time are doors? What time does it open? How much? Are tickets on sale? Is there a link? Like, what's the haps?
Let me get the info pulled up.
I was like, let's pull up the Encyclopedia of Snooze Fest because
I know. So, okay, the doors are 5:30. It's $15 in advance, 18 at the door. And yeah, the bands actually start at 6 o'clock. So
be there.
Come party.
Or
it's gonna be a long, fun day and night of music.
Also, if you're drinking, Beat Kitchen did this last year, and they're going to do it again. We had them. The bar served the breakfast cocktails all night, so you can get like a Bloody Mary or mimosas and things like that. We asked them if they could have their breakfast menu all night, but they're like, that's a whole nother kitchen crew. So we have a morning crew and a night crew. We can't do that. We're like, that's fair. But yeah, the breakfast cocktails, pillow fights, pajamas. I'm gonna be wearing this. I think this is it's like a blanket hoodie.
Okay.
Nice.
It's very
I am in my pajamas right now, but I will not be wearing this at Snooze Fest.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah. I have some flannel pajamas somewhere.
I always tell, because of course every year we do this, I get the same jokers going, oh, well, I sleep naked. And I go, it's pajamas, not what you sleep in. And then they're like, So
some people just
no nudity.
We'll just leave it at that. Well, look, I don't want to take up any more of your time. Kevin, Alyssa, I want to thank you both for seriously spending this time with us tonight. I'm super stoked to check out your set. Everyone, please check them out at Snooze Fest at Beat Kitchen, Saturday, February 11th. Doors at 5:30. Show starts at 6. $15 in advance. $18 at the door. I do believe this is a 21 and up show.
17 and up.
17 and up. Boom. Bring your ID.
Yes.
Or else you won't be getting in. Make sure you go follow Guardrail. Excuse me, on all the socials. Instagram. What is it? Guardrail Sucks.
Yep.
Guardrail Sucks.
Hilarious. And check them out on the streaming platforms, the Spotify's. You guys got the Bandcamp going?
We do. We just have like random cover songs and stuff on there and whatnot. But yeah, that's our main thing is the main streaming platforms, Spotify and all that. That's where our EPs are and everything like that. So go check that out. And new album during the summer.
I'm stoked. I'm so stoked. I would love to have you guys on again sometime. I'm definitely going to be seeing you guys at Snooze Fest. I could talk to you guys for hours. Christmas with my dog. That track is hot fire.
Yes.
That track is so hot.
That song, musically, was it didn't have lyrics for it yet, but it was a song that just didn't make the cut for the album. And we had the idea to put a Christmas song together, and I was like, just kind of looking at the songs that we didn't use, that one seemed to fit the best. I just threw the sleigh bells under it and some church music and shit like that. I was just like, oh, hell yeah. And then
Perfect.
I had the line in my head of you'll find me watching the Yule log with whiskey in my eggnog. I'm spending Christmas with my dog. I'm like, okay, I got to make this a thing. And so we did. And shout out to the 60-something dogs that made cameos in the video for it too.
That track is hot. You guys press that on a 7-inch, sell it.
We might have to. Maybe next year.
But look, you guys get out of here. Kevin, Alyssa, thank you for your time. Guardrail in the house. Everybody go check them out. Saturday, February 11th, Beat Kitchen. Check them out on the socials at Guardrails Sucks. It's a lot of talking real quick. Yo, you guys, thank you so much again for your time. Peace and respect to you guys. I'll see you guys in a couple weeks.
Hell yeah. See you, man.
Thanks
Later,
so
y'all.
much. You've been awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.
Man. That was so much fun. Guardrail. Yo, please, people, go check them out. They're dope. Guardrail. They're dope. Check them out. Give them a follow. Check out the music. Check them out at Snooze Fest, February 11th, Beat Kitchen. It's going to be hot. It's going to be dope. I'm excited. You'll see me there. I wonder what pajamas I'm going to wear. I hope it's not 10 degrees that night. I'll figure it out. We're going to get out of here in just a minute. But before we end the show, I wanted to do our prop segment before we get out of here. And real quick, the prop segment, the artist, the female in question, I guess it's not really in question. The female artist I want to talk about real quick is a young lady by the name of Jennifer Hudson, who hails from the city of Chicago. Oh my God, Scott, you were amazing. That is such a much better picture than the one that, yeah, that's amazing. Jennifer Hudson, ladies and gentlemen. Straight out of Chicago. She broke out into the scene pretty much around 2000. I want to say it was 2004. She was on American Idol. She did not win, which is okay because we'll get her now. She was on American Idol, didn't win, moved on to movies, records, TV shows, things of that nature. She did Dreamgirls, I want to say, in 2006, and her debut album dropped right after that in 2007 or 8. She put out a few releases. I want to say she put out like 3 records. Her first record, I know for sure, definitely went gold here in the US and in the UK. Her other 2 releases after that also went gold. She's won a ton of awards, Grammys, BET Awards, an Oscar, British Academy Award, NAACP Image Awards. Like, I think she won like 8 of those joints. You know, so much. She's done so much. She was in Winnie Mandela. She was in Sing. She's got her own talk show now. She was in Empire. I mean, it goes on and on and on. She is probably one of the most hardworking singers, artists, and so humble. And she, you know, definitely experienced a great tragedy. Almost maybe 13, 15 years ago. I think it was in like 2008, 2009. A really unfortunate tragedy. Her mother, her brother, and her niece were tragically killed by her sister's estranged husband. And that was rough. That was really bad. Of course, and just so tragic, horrible. That's a lot for anyone to have to go through. I mean, I remember that like it was yesterday. That was really rough. Seeing that news, and you know, she handled it, you know, the best anyone could. You know, that situation. I mean, that's rough, man. Nobody should ever have to go through something like that ever. Out of those tragedies, though, the Hudson King Foundation for families of slain victims was founded through her. She also, with her sister, also founded a foundation that gives presents and school supplies to children in Chicago, named after her nephew, actually, that was killed. The Julian D. King Foundation started that in his honor as well. So, you know, out of, you know, those unfortunate tragedies, you know, it is nice that some sort of good can come from those tragedies. So, also Jennifer Hudson was also in Aretha. She played Aretha. She played Aretha Franklin in the movie. She sang the part. The movie was called Respect. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's amazing. I was able to see it in theaters when it came out. It was great. I know, you know, she had said that she really identified with Aretha, you know, because she had gone through, you know, those tragedies in her life, you know, and Aretha had also gone through, you know, so many, you know, hardships and tragedies in her life as well, you know, so she really connected to her. Yeah, I mean, look at that picture, like, like, just amazing, just beautifully amazing. If you haven't seen the movie, check it out. It's timeless. Jennifer Hudson, Aretha Franklin. It's a great movie. She plays the part so well, and I really think that you will enjoy it if you haven't seen it. So special shout out to Jennifer Hudson. You're amazing. Just, you know, giving you your flowers. You deserve it, and so much more, because you're amazing. And thank you for being you. And with that being said, I think my time's up, y'all. I think it's time for me to bounce up out of here. Before I go, just a couple quick reminders. Make sure you tune in this Sunday, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, to see The Tomorrow Show with myself, Aaron T, and my homie Mike V. We're going to have a lot of guests on. We got Keep Flying. We got Aaliyah on the show. We got Kevin Matthews. He's a pro wrestler. We got Goof in the house. Leisure Hour. You know, those three bands are going to be playing Snooze Fest, which is the festival put on by the guests that I had on my show tonight. Guardrail. Special shout out to them for being guests on the show. Kevin and Alyssa, very, very nice people. Thank you guys. And I want to thank all of you for joining us. Yeah, make sure you check us out on the Hope Lounge as well. The Sleep-In Weekend. All sorts of cool stuff. Pre-Snooze Fest hangs. Champions of Hope watch along wrestling. That's going to be tomorrow, Saturday, at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. You know, Carl's going to be on. Got the day after, some other people that are going to be in the stream. It's going to be dope. So make sure you check that out. And yeah, I think that's about it. Me and Phoenix are going to get up out of here, and we're going to do the thing. So again, thank you for tuning in. Check me out Sunday with Aaron, Mike V. Tomorrow show, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. Props to Guardrail. And make sure you check out No Face Art on Instagram. And Scott, thank you for being dope. Thank you to all of you for checking out the show tonight. And be safe out there. Take care of one another. Look out for each other. Be safe. Peace out. See y'all in a couple weeks, all right? All right. Later.